Hey everybody. Hey everybody, great to see you today. It's another Monday coming out of a great weekend, hopefully for you. Daniel, great to see you again, man. You doing good?
Yes, it's good to be back.
All right. Well, let's see what we can do to encourage our audience today on wherever it is that they're working on more unity, their marriage, their family, their workplace, their team they're on. We got some things we want to talk about today that I think are relevant to everybody. We want to really hit on this whole process of coming together. And some of you may or may not have heard an interview that we've done yet with Harris the Third. This guy's an incredible illusionist, magician guy. And he talked a lot about this whole idea of imagining and believing. And really, that's where this whole idea of working better together begins. When you say, Daniel?
Yeah.
How do you see imagining and believing relating to the process of being better together?
I think about that in terms of being a coach. I get the opportunity, and I know that you've done coaching as well, Ian, and talking to an athlete about envisioning what a play is going to look like before it happens, seeing the field before something happens. And so I think what you just asked, when we think about wanting to be better together, starting from the place of saying, can you imagine what it would look like either with this person, whether that would be a friend, whether that be within a marriage or within a group of people, whatever kind of team that you might be on, whether that's a team of a sporting event, a team at a job, a team at school, visioning, dreaming, picturing what could better together look like before we even get there.
Right. Yeah, I think, there's a verse in the Bible that says, without vision, the people perish. And I would say, without vision, working better together perishes. Like, it doesn't work. You've got to have a vision for your marriage, a vision for your family, a vision for your workplace on how coming together makes it better. If you don't have that, you don't have it. So if you can't imagine that, if you can't believe that, then you got nothing to start with. And that kind of comes back to some of what we talk about in our little mantra with focus, adjust, persevere. This is where the focus part comes in, right?
Yep.
It's imagining and believing what can be, focusing on moving towards that. So let's say you do that, Daniel. You imagine, you believe in what can be with your soccer team, with your church, whatever it is that you're thinking about that in. What's next?
Then I think after you have that focus, then you have to have the opportunity to gather people together. So, hey, I've dreamed of what this might look like. I've envisioned, maybe I wrote down a very simple, even to start, of a vision statement of what this could look like, but can't be better together without other people. So your next step would be then being intentional in reaching out, gathering a group of people together, or if you're already, again, in that group, it's then being intentional of coming together with them and starting some of that initial relationship building, that initial connection. That does not mean then that you are better together just because you get in a room, which today we had a great example of that, Ian. We got some pastors together in a room. And yet that's that next step you said, though, is, hey, we're actually gathering together to begin having relationship and further conversations around what being better together could look like. So now it's gone from just maybe me or you envisioning, dreaming, seeing what this could look like, to getting with a group of people and starting some group think and group conversation around what that could look like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you think about getting a group of people in a room to start the process. Sometimes that event, like that being in the room together, can feel like, oh yeah, we're better together. No, you're just starting. Like, it's just getting going. And that's kind of where you go from the focus to the persevere, or the adjusting, right? Because as you start getting people together in relationship, that's where the adjusting comes into play, based on everybody's gifts and abilities and what they bring to the table. You got to adjust in order to figure out how to really be better together, right?
And that's everyone. That's everyone sitting in that room has to do that adjusting, not just maybe the person who's guiding the conversation, but everyone's got to be willing to look and be willing to adjust in everything that you just said. But I think there's also the key in there that's such an important thing of getting to know each other so that you can learn about how other people are, maybe ways that they operate that might be different than yours. And that doesn't mean that one is better than the other. But in that process, you're going to learn, oh, I might need to adjust here in this way, or so-and-so might need to adjust in this way. Everyone's doing a bit of adjusting in order for the collective to come together.
Yeah, it can't be a top-down, like, let's go, this is it. In order for there to really be togetherness in it, that adjusting from every party and that commitment towards the end goal, that the focus is necessary, right? You think about your soccer team, like, right? Each of those players might have to adjust where they play, how they play, based on the collective movement that you're trying to create as a team.
Yeah.
So it's the same in a family. It's the same in a marriage. Like, as you get to understand your spouse better, get to understand your kids better, there's adjustments that everyone has to make in order for it to work better together. But sometimes we don't create an environment that is conducive to that. A lot of times we create an environment that is a top-down type of thing, that is a command and control, and doesn't really create the kind of connecting and congealing that's necessary for it to really work powerfully together. You know, I one thing that comes to my mind is we hear about Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots and the Patriot way.
Yeah.
And we've seen players there come and go, but we know that there is a way they do things, and that's how they do it. And people either adjust to become part of that or they don't. And that's a big reason why Belichick talks about they've been so successful, because they just have a way and everyone buys in and they adjust along the way. Maybe they didn't come in with that mentality, but they adjust towards it. And that, some people would look at that as a command and control mentality, but it's really not. It's it's clarity on what they're imagining and how they want to see it work. And then people either decide to adjust and become part of that team or not. And there's been many who've chosen in and some who've chosen out.
Yeah.
But what makes them better together is the ones that are there are clear and they've chosen in.
Yeah. Yeah, Ian, I'm reading through some stuff right now, and I know there's going to be some more tune-ups that come out of this, but just in the realm of coaching, just reading about some of that culture building, and a statement that came to mind as you said that is a statement that's been in so much of my readings is, this is who we are. Getting to the place where everyone in that group knows this is who we are, and this is who we are these few things. And then everyone says, I'm going to commit to that. And so there's this sense of moving from this is who I am to this is who we are in a collective sense. And I think some of what you were just sharing, the Patriot way, this is who we are as the Patriots.
Yeah.
Blank, 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 blank. Hey, collectively, are we in on this together? Then each person has to say, yeah, am I willing to adjust to be a part of the we within this? Yes or no? Is this gonna work for me? But it is very clear. And there's definition and there's understanding. Then as you move forward in that adjusting, you can always remind yourself, this is who we are. You run into something, this is who we are.
Yeah. And it does take perseverance too, right? Like, once you even get that clarity and you have people who are willing to adjust, there's hard times along the way where it does require perseverance, and it requires coming back and reminding everyone of, this is who we are. This is what we're imagining. This is what we're moving towards. So it's this continual cycle again of focus, adjust, persevere. And I think, we've got to continually remind ourselves of that. So I would just say to our listeners today, like, if you are not clear right now on what you're imagining and believing, get clear. If you're in a scenario where you are clear on what you're imagining, maybe consider what adjustments you have to make. And then finally, persevere. Don't give up. That's what these tune-ups are all about, right, Daniel?
They are. And I just want to say to our listeners too, we're right there with you. Even in this We Are Better Together podcast, we do that. We're figuring that out. We're focused, adjust, persevere. We're 6 months in or so at this point, I think, and we are still striving, continuing to say we want to be better together, even within how we do this podcast. So we're right there with you, asking these questions along the way as we give you encouragements, as we give you interviews from people.
Man, it's been so great doing this with you, Daniel. I'm really enjoying it. I hope it's helpful to our listeners. And we just want to remind you all, don't miss the interview at the beginning of the month. We've got some amazing interviews. We don't want you to miss out. We're grateful for you listening, and we hope that this serves you in wherever area you're working to be better together in. So thanks for tuning in. And please, if this is helpful to you, share it. Let other people know about it. We want to see more people be better together. Have a great day.